Today, we're going somewhere far more dangerous. Welcome to the world of cave diving, where the stakes are higher, the risks greater, and every dive could be your last. Murray had been contemplating diving Radium Springs for a while, and when he proposed the idea to a fellow club member, Donald Garu, he was anxious to accompany Murray. However, Murray and Donald had no idea how large it was, how many corridors and rooms it had, how deep it extended, or what unknown offshoots it included in 1955. To make the most of their limited time underwater, they decided to separate shortly after entering the cave. However, it was absolutely problematic in terms of safety, because they wouldn't be able to support one another if something went wrong. They'd been in the water for roughly 30 minutes, but it felt much longer to Donald, whose growing unease was hard to ignore. After advancing only about 200 feet or 60 meters into the cave, Donald abruptly stopped. His breathing had quickened, and he could feel the unmistakable grip of panic tightening in his chest. His instincts were screaming that something was wrong. He glanced at Murray, trying to steady his nerves, but every inch of him was telling him to turn back. "I think we should go back," Donald said, his voice strained. "I can't shake this feeling. Something's off." He wasn't sure what it was. Maybe it was the eerie silence that hung in the air, or the way the water seemed to ripple with no apparent cause. Whatever it was, Donald knew that if they ventured any further, the situation could spiral out of control. Donald, having already returned from his dive, indicated to Murray that it was time to come back, and suggested that they head out together. However, Murray wasn't ready to call it a day. He felt as though he had hardly scratched the surface of the adventure. No real exploration, no challenges faced. In his mind, the day's effort had been unfulfilling. He couldn't shake the feeling that he'd fallen short of achieving what he'd set out to do. His sense of purpose remained unmet, and the call to push further tugged at him. Murray in particular seems to be driven by a need for adventure and fulfillment, despite Donald signaling that it's time to wrap up their exploration and leave together. Murray feels like he hasn't accomplished enough. He feels a deep pull to continue, which suggested that his desire for exploration and challenge might lead him to push beyond safe limits. If we were to continue imagining how the story unfolds, we can assume that Murray's decision to stay longer might result in unforeseen consequences. Given the title Radium Cave Disaster, the cave may have dangers that Murray underestimates, perhaps relating to radium exposure or the structural hazards of an underwater cave.